Hi, everybody. I am Kevin Iole from Yahoo Sports, and it is a privilege for me to welcome my next guest. It's my second double Olympic gold medalist in just a couple of weeks that I had on here to interview. A few weeks ago, I had Claressa Shields, who won gold medals
Oh,
in
awesome.
2012, 2016 in boxing, and now we have the 1-0 professional fighter from the PFL, Kayla Harrison. How are you, Kayla?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, I appreciate coming on for people who don't know, and I don't know how many that is, but you won the Olympic gold medal in 2012, 2016. You made your pro debut a week ago, June 21st in Chicago. You armbarred, no shock there, armbarred
Yeah.
Brittney Elkins in 3:18 in the first round. What was more mentally difficult, getting ready to compete in the Olympics when you knew you were a world class judoka, or going into that first MMA fight where it's like a new world to you?
Yeah, it's just, it's totally different mentalities. I think with the Olympics and going to defend my title, I know what I'm capable of. Um, there's just the pressure of who are you if you don't win kind of thing. But with MMA, it was so different because I didn't know what was going to happen. I was like, can I take a hit? Do I still have that same fire? Am I the same Kayla? So it was all kind of like, I didn't know who was going to show up in the cage, but luckily I really loved it. I enjoyed it. Obviously have a lot to work on, but um, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about this new chapter.
I was there in Rio when you won the gold medal, became the first American to win back to back judo gold medals, male or female. And I remember when you walked out, you had this almost intimidating look on your face, like, there's nobody going to beat me, and you knew what was going
Yeah,
to happen. Did you look pretty determined as you walked to the cage last week, but
yeah,
was the feeling different at all?
totally different. It was totally different. I mean, I think, on that day in Rio when I woke up, I was like, no one's taking this from me. And I really truly believed it. And to my core, I felt like I was the best judo player on the planet. And I think that just comes with time and experience and building that confidence with success. So when I stepped into the cage the other night, I may have tried to look intimidating and like prepared, but I was nervous. I was scared. But I really enjoyed it. And I think that with time, again, and just slowly building up my confidence, that Kayla will come back. So,
When you fought in the Olympics, you fought at 78 kilos, which is what, about 170 pounds. You fought
yep,
the other day at 155. Let's first
yep,
talk about that. How tough is it for you to get down in weight? Because we see poor Cris Cyborg having difficulty getting fights at 145 because there's not
yeah.
enough qualified women. You were at 155, where it's even a smaller pool. So,
Yeah.
what's the long term plan? Are you going to look to move down and take the weight off slowly, or how is the plan going to go?
Yeah, so I mean, I went from my Olympic career where I ate 6,000 calories a day and lived the life, to really having to be pretty strict about what I eat and when I eat, how much I eat, etc. So for this fight, though, because I think that all the workouts are so different and because the training is so different, I'm in a completely different environment. I'm using completely different muscles, and I really changed up my diet. I didn't have to really cut too much weight. The weight naturally kind of came off. So I walk around now at about 160, 158. And that's eating, 6 meals a day. That's drinking over a gallon of water a day.
Mm.
It's just, I'm not eating pizza every night. I'm
Right.
eating, a lot more veggies than I ever used to eat. For the weight cut, I didn't even cut weight for this fight. I woke up the morning of, I ate every meal the day before. I drank a gallon of water the day before, and I was 2 pounds over that morning. So I just took a bath for 20 minutes, and I was on weight. I was good to go. So I think the goal is over time, the best woman in the world, pound for pound, is at 145 pounds. So, I'm not there today, but eventually, I hope the PFL or somehow we can make that fight happen when I'm ready. But I'm not ready right now. So
Well, of course, and we know that you're just learning this business. How was it when you first got into the cage training? You trained an American Top Team.
mhm.
Amanda Nunes is there. There's some really
Yeah.
good fighters. Did you get
Oh
in the
yeah.
cage with her? And how was the experience when you first met her?
Yeah, we sparred. So I went down for like just kind of like a training trip before I moved down there. So I was there for a week, And on I think the second day I sparred with her. So it was pretty intense. I mean, I had never, thus far in my training, I had never trained with a girl who outclassed me. You know, like I was always able to survive or hit them as much as they hit me, but she really, you know, she opened my eyes to how much work I have to do. And for me, it was amazing. She's very gifted. You know, she's an amazing fighter. She's the best in the world at what she does. And for me, it's awesome to have someone like her to train with every day, because now I have something to look at to say, okay, that's where I want to be someday.
I wonder, like, when you're in judo and you find, hey, when you fought Aguiar, you guys split a lot of fights, right? Were you 9-8
Yeah.
against her, I think?
Yeah, that's right.
And she was, maybe the best in the world other than you. And you
Yeah.
guys were, right about 500, but you find a way to win those fights. What do you do in a similar situation where you don't have the same confidence? You don't have that lifetime of experience in MMA that you had in judo. How do you compensate there? Is it just athletic ability, or what is it?
Well, I mean, in MMA right now, what gets me through a lot is my grappling, you know, my judo instincts, and I think just my heart and my grit. You know, I don't really, I always find a way to get back up, and that's the thing is, like, you can hit me, but I'm just gonna keep coming. Like that, I think that's kind of what impressed the coaches at ATT was like, you know, my boyfriend's like, no, she wants to spar Amanda, and they're like, you know, she hasn't even had a fight. Like, what do you mean she wants to spar Amanda? And he's like, no, put her in. And they're like, okay, are you crazy? And I sparred her, and you know, obviously she got the best of me. She's much more experienced than me, and she, you know, just fought Ronda however long ago, so she knows exactly, you know, my style, my type of fighting. But she hit me, and I kept coming forward, and I think that impressed them. You know, obviously one of the big things they were like, we're going to work on your defense. So I think really for me right now is just my never say die attitude. You know, the good news about me is I'm tough. I can take a punch, and I'm willing to do pretty much whatever it takes to find a way to win.
I always think, when you break down a fight, whether it's boxing, MMA, or whatever, it's like if this person could take a punch, they got a shot, right?
Absolutely.
That's the one thing you never know about a fighter, no matter how talented they are. Can they take a
Absolutely.
punch? From your standpoint, is that a mental thing, like just saying I'm going to walk through this? Because I cannot imagine in judo, and I know judo is a fight, but you're not getting the same kind of shots
Oh no, it's
in
totally
judo
different.
that you're
Yeah.
getting in MMA. So
Yeah.
is that just where you have to will yourself to do it and be ready? Is it a physical
Yeah,
thing?
I mean, it takes getting used to. I think it's like anything else. Like when I first started sparring, I was so afraid to get punched. You know, I was like very tense. I'm still really tense. You know, like the striking is obviously still something I have to work on, but I'm not afraid to get hit anymore. And I know that I can take a hit, so it makes it a lot different when you're getting punched. And I think it is a mental thing for sure. Like you do have to mentally get over that fear or get used to that. Like people are going to hit you. That's what they do in this sport. For me, what I have to work on is, you know, just because they hit me doesn't mean I'm losing. Doesn't mean I should panic. Like when I get hit, I almost like take it personally, and I just like freak out, and I'm like, you know, I like go like, you know, full throttle ahead. I'm like, oh my God, I just got hit. I have to kill them, you know? Like I go into this like crazy mode.
Right.
So learning to deal with that is going to be important.
Do you think having Ronda Rousey come out of the Olympics and won a medal in judo and then becoming a champion in MMA makes it easier on you, or is it harder because now expectations are higher that, hey, just because you won a medal in judo and you won a gold, she won a bronze, that that you're going to be even better than she was? Which way does it go, do you think?
I mean, I think it goes a little bit both ways. On one hand, you know, she really opened the door for me. I mean, she's a pioneer of the sport. She's done so much to help make women's MMA single-handedly just busted that door open and said, no, you can't say no to women. Sorry, my dog.
You're at a
but
dog
on the
park,
other
we should
hand,
tell everybody, let them know where you are.
I'm at the dog park with my dog, so he's being a goofball right now. But on the other hand, it is some pressure because even like after I fought, everyone's like, oh, Kayla won with Rousey's signature armbar. And I'm like, you know, I can appreciate that MMA fans love her and love the armbar, but it's a very popular move in judo, and I've been doing it for a very long time. It's not necessarily Ronda's armbar, you know, it's called Jujikatami. It's a judo move, and you know, it had nothing to, someone was like, oh, is that an ode to Ronda, or did you do it because of Ronda? And I'm like, what? No, I did it because it's my instinct, and like, it was there. So it's going to be interesting. I think, you know, she's always been a positive motivator in my life. Even when I was doing judo, you know, she was the golden girl when I first moved to the Pedros. She was junior world champion and world medalist and Olympic medalist, and I was nothing. I was a 16-year-old kid, you know, and I wanted to be her. I wanted to beat her. Every day I went to practice and I thought about, you know, I wanted to be that girl. So for me, she's always been a positive role model and a positive motivator, and something that pushes me to be the best that I can be. You know, anything Ronda does, I want to do. I want to do better. Like, it's always been positive for me.
How do you, when you see the way MMA ended for her, two things.
Mm-hmm.
You know her very well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like, let's talk just this question about her. Do you think she lost confidence, and is that kind of what happened, in your opinion, against Holly and even to a greater extent Amanda?
I think a lot of stuff, you know, there's so many layers as a fighter, and there's so much that goes into that one moment that everyone watches. You know, it's not just one thing or this thing or that thing. I think a lot of things happened, and I wasn't like, you know, I wasn't closely with her during those fights, so I don't know exactly what happened. I think a bunch of different things. I think she was stretched so thin. I think she was doing so much, trying so hard to make the sport popular and make it, you know, what it is today. Like, I don't know how I mean, I get like overwhelmed, and I'm still 1-0 in the sport, you know, and I'm like, Jesus, like, everyone just leave me alone, you know, like, I need to focus. And so for her, I can't even imagine what those pressures must have been and what she must have been dealing with, and people were pulling her every which way. And I think too, like, I think some people took advantage of her, and I think some people, she had a lot of yes men around her. You know, she had a lot of people who were just going to tell her whatever she wanted to hear because she was Ronda, and they didn't want to upset her. And I think that that's really dangerous for a fighter, and it's really scary because you don't know. Like, you're supposed to trust these people, and then
Right.
you know, they're just telling you what you want to hear, and that's like, it's so detrimental. That's why, like, no matter what, I'm always going to have Big Jim around, because he's like, I mean, not to use foul language, but he's such a masshole. Like, he's just so, like, he'll tell you how it is. He doesn't care if you're friggin', you know, the ruler of the free world. If he doesn't like you, he's going to tell you he doesn't like you.
And that's Jim Pedro Sr. We should tell people
Yeah.
who are not
Yeah,
aware
Big Jim. Yeah,
what you're talking
Jim
about.
Pedro Sr., yeah.
How do you prevent, you alluded to it a little bit, but how do you prevent what happened to Ronda from happening to you then? You said, hey, there's people pulling on you and you're getting, twisted and all those type of things. And I guess the key question is, you referenced yes men. How do you avoid that? How do you avoid keeping those people, from getting around you and giving you bad advice?
I think I'm just going to keep my circle tight, you know. It's not, I don't want to say no new friends, but I'm not, the people who have been with me from day one and the people who've supported me, you know, that group hasn't changed. All the people who were just at my fight this last week were people who, you know, have been a part of my journey for every step of the way. You know, the Pedros and their family, and my friends from Boston, and my family, and my mom's friends, and, you know, all of those people, like, they just want nothing but the best for me, and they're just happy to share in my joy. And I don't know, you know, I trust my instincts. I trust, like, the people around me who are my advisors, the Pedros, my manager, you know, everyone around me, I think is going to keep me on the right track. And I just have to learn from other people's mistakes and try and make sure that I don't get swept up in it, you know. I think I can totally see it already, though. It's so easy to get swept away with all of it.
A little bit of
it's like
success.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Let's wrap it up with a couple quick things then. How's the process going to play out? Like, how long are you going to fight at 155? When will we see you at 145? How long do you think it'll be before we see you quality enough to fight ranked opponents?
Yeah. Well, that's something that I have to talk through with my coaches and with the PFL. You know, I'm happy to fight whenever and, you know, as often as possible. I want to get experience. I want to get in the cage. I want to have that time, because I really truly believe success breeds success. And the more I fight, the more comfortable I'll feel, the more confident I'll feel, and the better I'll get. So I'm ready to go. You know, I think, it's gonna take some time. I'm still an embryo. I'm still at the very beginning stages of my career, but I'm not gonna stop until I get to the top. So.
Did you ever have a thought, because I remember talking to you when you first signed with the old World Series, and
Mm-hmm.
I kind of got the sense that you weren't 100% sure then if you really wanted to fight. Was there ever a point of, hey,
Yeah.
do you put your body through this again?
Yeah. Totally. I mean, you always have those moments of doubt, and like anyone who's been on an athletic journey knows that there are ups and downs. There are good days and bad days. There are good practices and bad practices, and I've had my fair share of those in judo and now in MMA. There are some days where I'm just like, oh my god, what have I done? Like, really, what have I done? This was a mistake. But then you have those moments like I had in the cage where it all comes together and it clicks and you feel so good and you're on top of the world, and it's all worth it. It really is. So I found my new passion. I found my new calling, and I got a fire inside, and it can't be put out.
Last question then. Let's end with this. Your mom was a black belt, if I'm not mistaken, right? So
Mm-hmm, yep.
what was her take to see you go to MMA, like to basically start over? Was she into
Yeah.
it?
No, she definitely doesn't want me to do MMA. She was a black belt in judo, but she also is a nurse. So she was very concerned about concussions and a lot of that kind of protocol and the wear and tear that it's going to have on my body. But she's been down to watch me train. She's seen me sparring, and she knows that anything I set my mind to, I'm going to be successful at. So she supports me. And I think she also realizes now, like, it's a lot safer than what she was picturing. I
Right.
think she was picturing, like, just like us in like a basement going at it, like no holds bar kind
There
of
are a
stuff.
few
But
rules.
it's not like that at all. ATT is very professional. It's an amazing training facility. My coaches are top notch. Everyone is amazing there. I feel so lucky to be a part of that team. And really, even the PFL, they take such good care of me. Ray, Carlos, all of them, like I'm so excited about this journey. I can't even tell you.
Ray Sefo, the head of the PFL, one of the best guys in the business. So
Yeah, he's amazing. Such a good guy.
yeah, he sure is. Well, Kayla, we appreciate your time. We wish you the best. Congrats on your win. Look forward to seeing you in the cage down the road.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Good talking to you.
All right. Take care.
Bye.